Alright, so I am back, and today we're going to take a look at the Generation Toy Gorilla, or Warbotron Gorilla, or Transformations Gorilla, whatever they want to call themselves these days. I think officially, though, this one was Warbotron. So here he is in his gorilla mode-ish. It definitely looks sort of like a gorilla. So, but yeah, I mean, it works for what it should be, I would say. Real quick, I do want to show off the package because I actually do think this is actually a pretty cool package idea. So here they've got the robot. Obviously he's in the robot mode here, which looks pretty cool. You got the Generation Toy Gorilla G210. Looks pretty good. And then you get the warning on this side, their logo on this side, and then on the back, it's like the same thing on the front. So they have the Generation logo here and the name there. Here they've got the logo here and the name down here. But it's like it's almost like an alternate front. So if you want to display the box showing off the gorilla mode or the robot mode, I do actually think that's pretty cool. Now we can take a look at the gorilla. Now I transformed this once, so in all likelihood I'm gonna botch something as we go. But I don't like transforming because this is part of our giveaway series, so we'll be announcing the winner at the end of this. But I don't like to transform figures, especially in the giveaways, too many times because I don't want to damage it, and especially because it's a Generation Toy figure and I have horrible luck with them. A lot of people love the company, but I can't seem to keep these things together. So, all right, Poseability. Head is on a hinge. So it goes up to there, down to there. So if you want more like the Primal look, you can go that route. It's got the side to side, no problems there. Mouth opens and closes. Shoulders ratcheted up and down, in and out, and then there is a butterfly joint to come out. So it's extremely posable. I mean, you get everything you need to out of it. So in, out, all around. There's a bicep swivel. There's a knee or an elbow in there. Get you a good bend there. There's swivel. There's a lot of joints in there. We'll see more when we get to robot mode too. Wrist swivels. Oh, thumb is on a ball joint, as you can see. It just popped right off. There we go. There's a hinge at this digit, and then each one of the fingers, they've all got a swivel there at the base, and then the pointer finger has two hinges, middle finger has two hinges, and then the bottom finger, two fingers are in one piece, and they have one hinge. So I'd say that's good enough. There is a waist swivel. Now I can't tell with the instructions because they're a little vague. It makes it seem like this piece comes out and it's supposed to plug into the here, but I don't see where it would plug into. So it doesn't seem to really want to plug in for me. So I don't know. See, like it plugs in, but it doesn't actually hold, so I don't think that's right. And all that would really do is keep the waist from really rotating. Now this piece doesn't really hold into place very well either. Neither does the ab crunch. So that really should have been a little tighter. That actually does get a little annoying. Waist swivel. Works fine, no problems there. Hips up and down, in and out. There's a thigh swivel in there. Hinges here, the feet are on, what are they on? Hinge swivels. So you get the hinge coming out, swivel up and down. These toes all have one hinge here, and this toe here has swivel, hinge, and that's it, yeah. And then this back piece moves, and you can see like the piston moving and stuff like that. So yeah, all in all, it works pretty well, and the posability really makes it easy to come up with some good poses, however you want to do it. The way the head is designed really helps. It just, I mean, you get some great posing out of that. Not perfect, but pretty good. And here he is with the masterpiece Optimus Primal in Gorilla Mode. This is the second version, the Commander version, so the toy coloration. So yeah, ball joints just pop off every now and then. That's what they were designed for. So yeah, I'm not faulting it for the thumb. But yeah, so there they are together, in case you wanted to see them. Alright, now let's get into transformation. Now, this is, again, the instructions were a little vague, so we'll start with the legs. Flip the foot out, and then the heel will go in, and this just kind of stays back there. Alright, and then we want to straighten the legs out. Start the Generations Toys pieces falling off gimmick. The auto battle damage gimmick that they have with me anyway. Pull these panels here out like this and like this, and then you can take the shin section here, and this will fold down, and then this tab here was originally in this port here, so now it goes into there. So just a little bit of extra height for the robot mode. There we go. Same over here. There we go. Take this piece here, and this will, I think it's supposed to go in, but I can't get this thing to move at all, and I really don't want it to get chewed up. This one seemed to go in there, so that's fine, but I'm having such a hard time with these little panels. As I'm always prone to do with Generation Toy figures. They have these little tiny panels that just don't work well for me. So you flip that out, and this will come down, out, down. This we need to do. Again, we want to split these sections out. Now, when it comes in the box, it actually comes collapsed. That actually was a little confusing because it came in robot mode, and I'm like, what do you mean collapse it? It's already collapsed. So, alright. Gotta love it when a figure can hold its own weight, right? Swivel the waist around, straighten the arms out. We're just going to move the arms out to the side because we got a lot of work to do in the torso area, and hopefully I can remember how everything goes. So pull this panel here out, this panel here comes out, and then we can take this piece here, this will fold in and in. It's okay, because it'll actually tab in the things. And then we can pull this panel, this whole assembly here out. Now you can leave the cannons in, but we're going to pull them out for the robot mode. You can leave them in if you want like a cleaner look there. So we'll pull those out, and then these pieces here will fold in like that, in like that. And then we'll finish that up in a minute. Now the torso piece here, this was just a bitch. Especially going from robot mode to gorilla mode. Pull this out. This will fold in. This folds in like this. And then this assembly will go down, and then it kind of collapses into the back here. Which, you know, it cleans up real well because of that. But getting it back out, it's not going to happen easily. So yeah. Be mindful of that when you're transforming it. You're going to need something to wedge in there and really force it. Because, like, my finger's too fat to get through it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I did it. Alright, well, I just proved myself wrong. Never mind. Untab this section here. Pull the face up. Rotates around. Closes back up. This piece will come down. And in like that, this comes up, tabs into place. This will come down, this, and then what do we do here? Just fold these in. See if I can see anything on the instruction or on the box. Not really. Okay, I think we're getting it. Down and then tab those in, and shoulder pads come out. This. And then what we want to do is untab this red piece here. This will fold up. Close this up. And then like that. Unpull this. Collapse this up. Tab it in. And there we go. There he is, more or less, in robot mode. I'm sure I did something wrong. People are going to point it out. He does have a faceplate. So if you want to get his head up here, I think we could just pull this out. I think it's just a standard plug. I'm not gonna do it because I'm afraid that I'm gonna do some damage to this figure. But yeah, there you go. There he is in robot mode. I think his legs feel a little long with that extension on there. Yeah, I don't know. You know, I think that looks better. I could be wrong, but I think that, yeah. I think it's the thighs, actually, that need to get smaller. But yeah, anyway. So his head is on a swivel hinge, pretty good up, down, and there is a side to side. All right, a little to right more than the left, but which is weird. Can't go that way, but you can go this way. Oh, works. Good range of motion there. The cannons can come out and then they can extend just a little bit. Ratcheted shoulders again, butterfly joint in and out, and then there is another like it's in and out, and then there's the shoulders pads move independently. Bicep swivel, bends at the elbow. Then there's a forearm swivel. Hands all retain the same posability there. Waist swivel, ab crunch. Again, the ab crunch is a little on the loosey-goosey side. Hips in and out. Ratcheted up and down. There's a bit of a thigh swivel, but it gets caught up with his armor. Bends at the knee, and then you can bend up at the top there, so you can get a double bend if you need to. And then foot, rocker, and tilt. I'm gonna undo this. It's kind of bugging me. It's like, this is a little too long, it seems, and then the other way is a little too short. It's kind of like there's no happy medium here. All right. Now he does come with two swords as well, which you can plug into his hands just by a. Is this a 5mm port? No, it's a little smaller than 5mm. So you can just plug this in, just like that, and you're good to go. And then he does come with this dual sword doohickey. Pull this out. Plug the blade in. Pull this blade out. Plug this blade in. And then he can hold that instead, if that's the way you want to go. And then I believe, yeah, you can just plug these in right back here. Nope, can't do it there. Oh, slots. So you can just plug those into the sides if you want to store. Alright, and size comparison. Here he is with Masterpiece Optimus Prime. And you see he's just about the same size as Prime. And here he is with Optimus Primal. And there, for me, lies the biggest issue here. Is, I don't know what this is. I don't get it. Now, Masterpiece Primal and the Masterpiece Beast Wars figures are kind of in their own scale. Now, he's been out long enough that it's not like they wouldn't know that they're in a different scale than the regular Masterpiece figures. So they're going more of a Masterpiece scale with them. Like a true Masterpiece scale. But then they make it all techie, so it's no longer Beast Wars Primal. So I'm not understanding where this is from. Now, it could be IDW, and I don't read IDW, but I just don't care enough. But to me, this isn't reaching out to me as a Beast Wars fan. had this been, I mean, I will say the plastic quality and the build quality overall is a huge improvement to the last figures that I looked at from Generation Toy. A lot of times I'm horribly disappointed with their figures, and that's why I've kind of written them off. It still has issues, don't get me wrong, but the issues that this thing has are much more like, oh, I could overlook this because the rest of the figure's good. I'm not gonna say that this figure is bad. It's got a pretty good build quality. Like I said, few issues, but livable issues. Some of their older releases, they had some issues that just didn't fit. It's a scale issue for me now. Had this been in the scale of Primal, I probably would be tempted to pick it up. But it's not. So I don't know exactly where they're wanting it to go. It's just not quite... I don't know. I just don't know what to do with it. It's a difficult call, to be completely honest with you guys. It's decent. It's good, but it's not overwhelmingly good. Where I'd be like, oh well, I'll just make a whole new collection for just this guy. It doesn't fit with the G1 figures. It's got too much stylized detail to it, and it's much more Beast Wars-esque. But it doesn't fit with the Beast Wars stuff because it's too big. Telemarketer. So I don't know, guys. I really don't know. I don't have a definitive answer for you outside of I wouldn't buy it just because I wouldn't know where to put it. Like I said, it's good. It's a good figure at the end of the day, and it's mostly fun. It's got a little frustration parts going with it, but overall, nothing like, oh my god, this is the worst I've ever seen. But yeah, it just kind of rambling now. I was trying to transform the other Primal back because I think he would look better in comparison because he's got more of the same colorations. So, but yeah, I just it doesn't fit with Beast Wars. And if you take Primal out of Beast Wars, if he doesn't fit in Beast Wars, what would he fit into? Now if they were going to do all of the again, I mean, I was about to say if they did all the characters like this, then it'd be tempting, but no. If they did these characters in the Beast Wars scale, then yes. I would be on board. I would totally be on board with that. Because that would be a very interesting line to go with what we're getting. Kind of going with Perfect Effect. They have like their own stylized, updated IDW-esque type look. So it would kind of fit with those. But again, those are more in Beast Wars scale. And this guy is not. So again, I just don't know where he belongs. I mean, again, I don't read IDW, so I can't sit here and tell you, oh, well, this is obviously a masterpiece IDW Optimus Primal. But even if it was, I would have to say I don't agree with IDW making Primal and Prime the same size. They were completely different sizes in the Beast Wars and thus G1. So why would they be different now, if that makes sense to you? Or why would they be the same now if they were always different and now the same? It really doesn't make sense. And just to show it off real quick, even though it took me longer than I wanted it to, here he is with the other Primal. So it matches more towards the toy version than it does the cartoon version. And also, you know, he's only got shoulder cannons, which actually really does bug me. You know, if you look at these guys, you know, they've got the shoulder cannons, but they also got the wrist blasters, which was a pretty big deal. You know, these are the things that he used a lot in the show, was the wrist blasters. You know, he'd flip them out, you know, pop a few cons, and then they'd flip back in. And he had the shoulder cannons as well. So it's kind of disappointing that, you know, it's like he's a bigger figure, and yet they couldn't fit as many features as the Masterpiece did. I don't know. All in all, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. Now that sounds like a low score. It's got some QC issues, minor ones, so that brings it down a little bit, but not much, I'd say. But the big thing is the scale thing. I'm having a really hard time sitting here and be able to be like, okay, guys, this thing belongs in your updated Beast Wars collection, or this guy belongs in G1. Now I have a friend that's out there and he's like, oh, well, obviously it's a pre-Beast Wars Primal. It's like, no, pre-Beast Wars Primal was not an ape. I think he was a truck, if I remember correctly. So, and that was true of all the Beast Wars characters. None of them were animals prior. They were all vehicles. And then he was a gorilla, and he stayed a gorilla till the end of the series. And even in the sequel series, I believe, if they were going to bring him back, I believe he was going to be like a truck monkey hybrid, which is where like this could fit in. Like an after Beast Machines era Primal, but he would need to be the scale. He's got to be in scale with the other Beast Wars characters. That's my biggest issue. You know, if they made a Cheetor, or okay, to put it in terms for the G1's fans, if you were to buy a Bumblebee that was taller than Optimus Prime, you would not be satisfied with the Bumblebee because he's out of scale. Now, I'm not saying scale is a be-all, end-all thing because it's kind of flexible, but like I said, if it's that far out of whack, you're going to notice it. Primal was a medium-esque size character in the Beast Wars, whereas Megatron would have been much bigger. Megatron and Rhinox and Dinobot should be about this height. So having him in that height puts him too big. Primal always had to look up at Megatron, always had to look up at Rhinox, always had to look at Dinobot. He had to look up at those characters. So having one this big, he's going to be looking the same size, if not down at the other characters when we get them. So that is an issue. That would be, like I said, Sideswipe, for example, being taller than Prime. That doesn't work. It's going to be an eyesore for that collection when it's that far off. Now, if he was like a hair bigger, then it'd be like, oh, you know what? It's close enough. Or maybe even a head smaller. Noticeable, but again, close enough. Because it's not quite Beast Wars, so it'd be, as long as it's close enough, I'd be okay with it, but because it's so far off. Now I'm done rambling, let's give this guy away. Okay, so we're going to do the giveaway for the Generation Toy Optimus Primal, or Gorilla, I believe it's called. Now, before we do that, I just wanted to go in. I've had I did the actual review yesterday. So I've had about a day to think about the review and my assessment of the figure. And I just wanted to kind of go into that one more time real quick before we give this away. And I was also talking to a friend. And the thing is I'm sticking with my score. The 6 out of 10. You know, the figure is good. Build quality is better than I've seen on them from this company in a long time. Or of all the figures I've played with from them. So it's a good quality piece. It's not good. I mean, it's good. It's not perfect. It's not great, but it's good. It's good enough. I mean, again, if he were the scale of Optimus Primal, I would actually be all over this. Now, a friend of mine was saying that it's an IDW design, and in IDW, he's supposed to be size of Prime and Megatron. The thing with that, though, is I've actually went on Google since then, and I've searched, and I cannot seem to find anything about this character. Or this particular version of the character. I've searched Untitled Primal. I went through the TF Wiki. I can't seem to figure it out. So I don't know. Maybe one of you guys can point me in the right direction on that. But going off what I've looked into, and a friend of mine was saying that it's possible that it's based off of the upcoming Power of the Primes IDW story arc. Where Primal gets the Matrix. The issue I have with one big issue I have with that is essentially this is a masterpiece Power of the Primes figure. I have issue with that right off the bat. But also, you know, according to the Powers of Prime stuff, the Optimus Primal, this one, is the core bot for the combined mode that turns into Optimal Optimus. Now, Optimal Optimus from that line is the same size as like the Prime and the Rodimus from that same line. So there, I would be like, oh, okay, I see that. But the problem again still becomes, this is supposed to be the core bot in that line anyway, and I don't know if that's what they based this off of. So it would actually be a lot smaller than that still. So again, I don't know. I don't know where this fits. So that's my biggest gripe about this figure. It's essentially needing to be a standalone piece. And a standalone piece is really hard to do. MP10, I'd say, you know, that's something that I could see somebody buying and putting on the shelf and not needing to buy the rest of the MP collection. Because he's good enough for that. MMC Predaking, that's a pretty cool standalone piece. You don't really need to build a collection around it. I'm trying to think of another one. The Cloud 9 Quake Blast. I would say that thing's just about there where you can have it stand on its own. For me, Unique Toys Mania King. He could be a standalone. Yeah, it's a really hard thing to do, to be a standalone figure. To be a collection onto itself, and that's essentially what this is going for, from what I can tell, and that does bug me. So I just, yeah. Anyway, let's give him away. So Mac T, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 tickets. Oh, you can't see that at all in the camera. Okay, here we go. Mac T. Let's see here. There we go. Alright, so Mac T's got 4 tickets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Josh F has 2 tickets. Todd M has 2 tickets. Darcy G has 2 tickets. Matt B has 5 tickets, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jordan O has 3 tickets. we got Mac T got 3 more tickets. And last and not least, Ann T has 3 tickets. It's Ann T, not Auntie. Or Auntie. I'm really trying not to go into like a Wizard of Oz kind of. Auntie M! Anyway. Now we are also doing the Perfect Effects Dragon Megatron that's active right now on the Facebook page. I'll put the link down below. So if you're interested, the rules and stuff are there. You buy the tickets, and then the winner just has to pay shipping. You buy tickets, I review the figure, give the figure away, and yeah, the winner pays shipping. Alright, now the winner for the Generation Toy Primal Gorilla Optimus, whatever you want to call it, Miss-scaled Gorilla, is Mac T. Mac T. So congratulations, Mac. Kind of sounded like Skullface there, because he's always saying Mac. But I actually have a reason to. So congratulations, Mac. You've won the Generation Toys Gorilla. Hit me up with your shipping information, and I'll get you some quotes on the shipping cost. Get this out to you. I'm recording this Saturday, so hopefully this video goes up Saturday. Kind of depends on how long the rendering takes. And then I will get this out hopefully Monday if you give me some dinero. But yeah, we'll get it all taken care of. Hopefully we'll get the Dragon Megatron here soon. Another friend of mine was really wanting me to do the Fancy Toys RC, but I have seen nothing but QC issues and problems with that figure. So I'm gonna go ahead and sit that one out. A lot of people, say Fancy Toys is the greatest of all time. That's fine if you do, if you think that, but from what I've seen pictures. I mean, Matt, he broke his during transformation. Now, he doesn't transform on the camera, so I really wish I would have seen it. But man, I feel bad for him. And as he said, he's never broken a figure. And I've talked to him many times. He really has not broken a figure before. And then I saw somebody else on Facebook whose RC came broken in the package. They opened it up and it just came in 2 pieces. Just issues with just issues all around. So I'm not going near that, because it's going to end up being one of those, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all scenario. Because if I get a Fancy Toys figure, one of the premium elitist collector figures, and it does something like that to me, I'm trashing it. I am trashing it. But anyway, so yeah, there you go. Congratulations, Mac. Let's give them all a round of applause. And yeah, I'll look forward to the next. I've got a few oldie reviews coming up this week, or this next week. So yeah.